Hello and welcome back to our coverage of the grand finals of the ESL New York EU Online Qualifier. There must be one winner. We're about to find out which of these two teams between Gambit and Big will be just that. Maybe a little bit of a surprise. I just said Gambit and Big, of course. It's because it says at the top of the screen for me. It's actually Gambit and EnVyUs. So first up with the grand finals out the way. I'm Vince, joined by Dust. How you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm sure Big wishes they were in this.
They do, yes, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, that is not the case for them and all of their fans. It is Gambit and EnVyUs. Of course, EnVyUs kind of pulled the shocker over G2 earlier today. Gambit taking on Big. So we got the major champions with a little bit of a roster change versus a EnVyUs team that has been trying to kind of get back in rhythm. These teams have never played each other, by the way, with your current lineups. Even with Zeus on Gambit, they never played against EnVyUs before. The last time that these two organizations played against each other was almost a year ago, back in September of last year at DreamHack Open Bucharest. And that was back when Devil was still on Envy, so even before Sixer had joined them. So that was quite some time ago.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if they're going to clash heads. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. The game comes and goes, and this round has gone all the way of EnVyUs, drawing blood across the board. Mo and Hobbits. Last two remaining CT players, and not for much longer. RPK has laid Hobbit down, and that's going to be all on Mo with 4 health. As good as he is, as good as he's been playing today, surely this is already the pistol going the way of EnVyUs. And they look really good against G2. I think a lot of people will be surprised that G2 did get beaten by them, but EnVyUs certainly deserved the win.
Yeah, I mean, XMS has been slowly coming into his own. Again, it was a little bit of a rough start when we first joined Envy, but it seems like he's really started to kind of get more comfortable and play a lot better. I think when you have the likes of Scream on the team with the rifle, who can be quite dangerous, and RPK, who sometimes is undervalued, certainly was a strong kind of third player to the supporting cast of Shocks and Scream on the previous G2 team. Has done pretty well here as well throughout the tournament. So they've had a lot going for them. And as far as firepower goes, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that as they dominate that pistol round. There wasn't really a whole lot of resistance from Gambit on that one. So EnVy will go ahead and jump up to a lead here. But of course, Gambit looking to force up. Upgraded pistols across the board. Mo will have a head armor scout, thanks to the 2 kills he got in the previous round. We'll see what he can do with it, if he can put it to good use or not.
Something that Gambit have been doing quite often after losing the first round is going in for a scout. Oh, looking for that pixel to execute on the cross. I feel like we did see a player or two actually go across there, so the call will come to a Dren, but he's not able to do anything about that. Secret is being battered by EnVyUs. 4 players already down here. Hobbit with his CZ trying to peer down, but the decon stance of Dozier is eliminated alongside Hobbit. Very reminiscent to the previous round. It looks like in a couple of moments it's going to be all Mo. This time with a 1-on-5. Now, it would serve him well to save the scout into the next round. There's no real hopes of him getting this clutch. It's just which position do you sit in right now to save the scout is more the issue. Because surely he'll get hunted down by one of these Mac 10s. Oh, happy. Just gets obliterated. And so will Mo. 2-0 to EnVyUs.
And it's definitely worth noting that Nuke isn't really high up on the map pool of Gambit, to be 100% honest with you. They have only played it offline a handful of times, the last time being way back in April at DreamHack Austin. They've had kind of mixed results offline with it. Meanwhile, EnVyUs have really struggled offline on Nuke, but online they've been pretty sharp, and we saw them use it throughout this tournament to pretty good shape, particularly in the quarterfinals matchup that we saw yesterday. As they're already up 2-0, they're up against a fully saved Gambit, just USBs, so this should be easy pickings for Envy. Happy's already found one, actually gets clotheslined by Dozier, however. So, making things a little bit interesting, but that should soon resolve itself as Envy capitalize on this upper bomb site.
More and Dozier, last 2 left. AK in the hands of Dozier. Bomb has been finalized. EnVy now off to hunt again with the SMGs. Definitely want to take the AK away from Dozier. Would bolster their buy pretty nicely in the next round for Gambit. And he has been spotted and will be taken down. It's a bit surprising that he'd even be peeking out from that position. Mo may be able to land the frag. USP at that range is going to suck against armor. And down he goes. Only losing Happy.
And we saw EnVy get 12 rounds on their T side against Hellraisers at the opening matchup of this tournament, and you're going to be seeing a lot of that outer smoke wall throughout this game from them. They really like to just kind of do 4 people down, secret into back halls, Happy kind of lurking lobby, and just really use that to attack the lower bomb site. That was like one of their favorite tactics to run in that Hellraiser series, so I expect to see a lot more of that. But they certainly have a couple of other ways they can approach this, a couple of different ways they can just kind of play default or do upper executes, but nonetheless, definitely a very assertive team. Like to take a lot of early initiative in rounds, and we already do see Scream setting up some utility to maybe get something done here soon over towards the lobby and radio room.
Yeah, still just feeling out their options. Pushing through into main. Dozier can hear footsteps to his left, and he's going to be able to see 6 up. Bomb does get dropped out. Dozier's going to try and play in the smoke a little while longer, buying up time for the rest of his team. Mo nearly decapitates Adren, but it's the RPK that comes through for both the kills. And suddenly this is switching in favor of EnVyUs. The round that Gambit desperately needed to respond to. We'll see Hobbit with just 1 health. Be careful, Hobbit, jumping out there with 1 health. That scared the crap out of me, never mind what his team must be feeling right now.
Oh, man. The crater would have been real. As he is actually going back up to heaven, doesn't realize that the bomb has already transitioned through the vents down the lower in the back of XMS. We'll be planning it here in just a moment. There he goes behind the silo, and with 1 HP. I mean, Hobbit doesn't really have much of a prayer. Saving the M4 and head armor is probably the best bet, to be honest.
Depends how much pressure Gambit are putting on themselves to start well, because of course this would be the rifle round going away from them. It would be a 4-0. Hobbit's going to close the door, tap the bomb, and see what happens. He'd love to have a kit at this stage, but he doesn't, and down he goes. Just 1 bullet required. XMS will deliver 6-1 for him, 4-0 for EnVyUs. Shifting through the gears, looking very good indeed.
Indeed, you just have to wonder about the familiarity with Nuke for Gambit. I mean, I'm sure they haven't really played it with Fitch before, and with Adren calling. So that's like 2 changes the team has gone through since the major, and this is the first time they've met Nuke since then. Not only that, but it wasn't really a big part of their map pool to begin with. That could help EnVy along here, who are off to a good start. Looking for that 5-0. Fitch looking to get aggressive and hut. RBK cuts him off at the pass. Easy headshot for him. Oh,
wow.
Okay then, RPK. Well, sir.
That's some sick fragging, regardless of whether it's an equal or rifles. Right? That is
Wouldn't matter what that guy had in his hands.
He's getting his head chopped off regardless. So maybe one of the reasons why Scream sticks to tapping. That spray not quite the best we've seen. Has been playing well throughout today though, so we'll let him off. Happy. We'll claim the kill onto Mo. Got a dink for his troubles, down to 9. And Gambit, not only is it looking like they'll concede yet another round, but not going to take too many players with them unless Hobbit can really start to shift through the players. Both Scream and Happy are low, to be fair. XMS only on 32. There are avenues back into this round. Especially as he's taking down XMS downstairs. He's not able to get his hands on the weapon just yet. He's not sure as to where the rest of EnVyUs are. Maybe I wrote off Hobbit's chances too soon. Scream, gonna make sure he doesn't crater. Using the drop. Smoke down into main. And A through as well. And Hobbit's seemingly going to be trying to get his hands on the weapon that he took down previously of XMS, which is a Mac 10. And see if he can get something to work with this. Second kill goes his way. Happy goes chasing and will give an AK across now to Hobbit, which definitely isn't what was on the cards for EnVyUs when you're in that 4v1.
So Hobbit able to carry over an AK and armor into the next round, as well as forcing some rebuying out of EnVyUs, who have plenty of money to do that, particularly with XMS, who has almost $15,000. He's almost maxed out. And we're only getting into the 6th round of the game, but certainly helps out Gambit not having to spend that money. Their economy is in poor shape, and they're on the CT side, so saving every penny counts for them at this point. So good on Hobbit for that, as we will get into another gun round here. Another chance for Gambit to see if they can't find something on their CT side. As Sixer and Happy are looking to put a little bit of pressure outside, as they will boost Sixer up with the AWP, as he's going to look and hunt for anyone who's going to be peeking here, but no one showing themselves. Meantime, we're having a bit of an exchange here at Radio Room, as Hobbit will lay down a smoke. XMS has already taken some damage here, but they just kind of fade back into lobby. Oh, Mo misses a chance.
EnVyUs haven't really been able to capitalize on that, though, not forcing them outside. So that shot, although it whiffed, although it's not a kill, ultimately, it doesn't seem like it's going to cost them too much. XMS down to 66. 1 minute to play with exactly now on the board. The clock will start to become an enemy too if EnVyUs don't start to get a move on. They've got the opening pick. Ramp now opening up. Dren's going to be the next player to peek off the turn, but Six is there for a second. I'm going to check up on the boost just to make sure there's no shenanigans forthcoming. And another kill going away of EnVyUs. Gambit don't seem to have anything at all in their back pocket.
Oh,
and to make matters worse, Fitch has just got completely brutalized off XMS.
You hate to see that, Vince. That was rough to watch. And you got to think you have XMS dead to rights when he's stuck on the ladder like that, but he's able to get a kill, and really just everything when EnVyUs is way there. It was kind of a standstill at the beginning, right? When you saw the opening op exchanges at outside and neither hit the shot. But then you see Sixer just roll that AWP out in ramp room, and Scream finds a kill on Hobbit, and all of a sudden the round's pretty much done and dusted. And EnVy up now 6-0. Very dominant stuff from the French side here on Nuke thus far. You have to wonder when the timeout from Gambit has to be coming, because they're, I mean, after this they're going to be on another save if they lose. So the pressure's definitely on Gambit.
Yeah, and how often do you see a Dren on 006 as well? He's having a really rough day at the office. So maybe that timeout just to allow some of the players to relocate themselves in their mind space and figure out what the hell's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout next round if they lose this one. At least I hope they will.
Good opening pick.
Sure. They have got the opening pick, but I think that at this point they're not sure as to whether someone vent dove or not. Dren's in there now, so they should be able to clear that one out and know that that's not the case. But the smokes initially, with Squeaky, were really causing a couple of question marks. Nice frag by Mo, much better. Now this should be their round. They can't afford to lose from this position.
It's certainly the best look they've had on Nuke thus far. Free kill at ramp to start it off, and now they've collected a few more to go with it. Hobbit will add to it, putting a stop to RPK, finding much more out of that initial entry on the ramp room. So it's just Sixer and Scream left. They do have a little bit of time on their side, but still an uphill battle to fight up against 4 members of Gambit as Scream tries to sneak outside.
Not much time left. Scream's looking for those one taps to Dozier. But Dozier won't let it happen. I think he may have just seen Sixer pop down the vents. Sixer misses a no-scope. And Dozier will splatter him all over the wall. It is the first round for Gambit. We need to keep this going forward. Can't afford to reset themselves.
That's the scary thing. I mean, you take that first step towards coming back, and that's all well and good, but you're not out of the woods yet. You lose a round like this, you're right back to saving. That's where EnVyUs can really make you pay for it. They've already had a roaring start to the half, and you do see them setting up the outer smoke wall. And smokes and flashes are coming out. Sixer and XMS going to be following that up to try to get out here and get into the mix as quickly as possible. Sixer, no AWP, but he's got the AK and he's out in front. That's a good incendiary to slow down EnVyUs from getting in back halls and give Hobbit time to jump through window and actually be here to greet them as they come through the turnpike.
Outside again, down into secret already. Gambit haven't been able to do too much about this, but now the crossfire is being established. RPK onto Hobbit, screaming meanwhile, headshot onto Dozier. Things are opening up nicely all of a sudden. It has afforded Gambit the opportunity to rotate down through ramp. You're gonna have two players there, both Mo and Adren, on either side. But EnVyUs will pull the plug on this potential B hit. They're getting the hell out of that. They're keeping Gambit on their tiptoes. I like this play, I've got to say, because the heavy rotation did come in straight away. A knee-jerk reaction. A player on vent will be Fitch, and he's gone down. Now 8 is very much open for business. Adren for 1. Won't be getting a 007 today. No agents in sight. But his team are getting completely manhandled at this stage, and Mo has to pick up a 1v3 if he wants to clutch. All 3 players are low, however, but he's got an AWP. Does have a kit, does have a smoke, but I don't think he wants any part of this. He's out of there.
Yeah, good initial play from Gambit. Again, to slow down the outside push with some utility to give Hobbit a chance to get down there. Dozy even dropping through vent. So, I mean, they had people in position, but EnVyUs just out trading them all the way through. And then the mid-round decision to call an audible and back out and make their way into the upper bomb site. And, you know, just making sure they kind of paid attention to the vents and knowing that that would be a popular place for Gambit to rotate. They held that off well also. I will say it's a little bit closer than you think. I mean, 3 of those players for EnVy that lasted did have very low health. So, I mean, Gambit almost took a crack at it. But unfortunately for them, close is not enough, as they will have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to put a buy together in this round. It's not even an ideal one. And if you lose this, you're basically having the full save the next round. So, EnVyUs is in such a powerful position at this point.
For those interested, by the way, the maps. Obviously, Nuke first, Train, and then Inferno. We go the distance. This is the choice of EnVy. So you'd expect them to pick it up, especially from this start that they've had. You've already seen Gambit and Mo in particular clean house on Train earlier against Big. EnVy is slowing down the round, not trying to play aggressive outside, not trying to impose their will and force the pace of the action onto Gambit.
Yes, again, we see Scream trying to creep outside. That's the big thing with this new version of Nuke, obviously, is outside access so much easier to get as a terrorist, particularly the rafters that Scream's traversing, but Mo is onto it. We'll find the first blow here. Adren looking to see if he can't find something for himself as well, but Happy holds him off.
Hobbit with the UMP, going to do what he can. Close and personal, there's one. Traded out. And now Happy. He's going to be able to traverse out. But Mo will take his 3rd kill of the round. Looking better for Gambit. Still definitely not out of the woods in terms of economy. If they lose this, they're right back in, you know, up the creek. But EnVyUs at least can force.
Absolutely. Winning that round was pivotal. Without it, they would be looking at potentially a 9-1 before they could buy again, and even then they'd be kind of in rough territory on what guns they'd have to work with. Despite losing, EnVyUs still actually have the better buy into this round. That's just how grim things have gotten for Gambit's money. We once again see them going for that 4-man push in the secret. This is their favorite tactic, and they're going to be able to make it down, but they're getting greeted by Adren up close with the back 7, and he's farming the dollars with a couple of kills, but XMS does eventually trade.
He's done his job, though. Not just 2 kills, but a bunch of damage. Vital information, allowing Gambit to stay in position and not have to worry about rotating. Control of the bomb. Adren worth so much in this round, and Fitch will pick up the rest. So it's a slow start for Adren and a slow start for Gambit, but their fortunes seemingly turning around now. It's actually EnVyUs that are going to feel the economic pinches. They are into an eco, or at the very least just a few pistols.
And Gambit maybe beginning to salvage this half. I think it's just a good read from them to kind of understand that EnVyUs, when they send those players down secret, they're pretty much committed to it. And even if they're not, you'll detect them falling back. So just getting up close, getting that mag 7 in their face was well worth it. As EnVy are looking to do something fast on a pistol behind RPK does just clean Mo's clock as he makes his way down the vents.
Now onto the site, XMS with a beautiful 1 deke, and EnVyUs have already taken down 3 kills. in the most unlikely of buys. They're making this stick. They've got a force. They're going to pick this one up flawlessly. Yes, they are. XMS with another headshot. And when it rains, it pours for Gambit. Just when you thought they were getting back in the map, just when you thought they had some kind of momentum behind them, some foundations, they've been gutted out.
They literally only lost 40 HP total on the EnVyUs side in that round. That's about as clean as it gets. RPK kicked it off with a great push through door, and the next MS with the 1D off a good pop flash. So making the most out of very little is EnVyUs, who will hold Gambit off from getting another round, as now it is 8-3, and again, Gambit's backs are up against the wall when it comes to their money. So was EnVyUs, to be fair. But it's definitely Gambit who will be hurting more. They have 4 guys on $0.
And they managed to salvage this somehow. Mo was the first to retreat back to the site, but Dozier's gone down. And with this smoke being down against the Scream knows exactly what's coming up. Last bullet will land. Looking for the frag. Sixer will take it. And it looks like EnVyUs will take it too, unless Hobbit can clutch. A 1-on-3. First has gone his way. Both EnVyUs players piecing out down in vents. And get that bomb planted. Put the pressure back on Hobbit. And to be fair, he is going for this. He's not interested in more saving. Realizing that rounds simply are too important at this stage. Economy doesn't mean anything. And if you lose the half, like 12-3, 11-4. This incendiary's gone into Toxic and nobody's home. And that's going to be the round done as XMS gets him in the back. 9-3.
Here are the repercussions that Gambit must suffer from falling prey to that save from EnVyUs. And then losing the follow-up. It's a round where they have nothing to work with. EnVyUs having a great opportunity to find double digits here on their T side. Nuke, just like they did against Hellraisers. They had 12 in that game. 10 seems to be right on the horizon at this point. Scream's already found 1. Fitch does respond pretty quickly.
Early doors once again. Not much time has passed, but already 3 of Gambit have gone past their sell-by date. Dren, USP in hand, is somewhat behind enemy lines. They may not expect him to be here, but the USP is going to let him down. In a P250, and he would have that kill on RPK. Instead, double digits for EnVyUs with Gambit. Onto a buy, but again, it's not great. They're all around mid-4,000s, so you're not going to see an open play for the likes of Mo, who'd love to have one. Right. They're not going to have a huge amount of nades. They're going to have 0 kits. I mean, this... In terms of a full rifle round, this is actually really lackluster.
And you can't shut anything down. Like, you don't have any Molotovs to stop an upper push, like a really fast upper push. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't have any utility to stop back halls pushes either. Scream knows that. He's just going to run outdoor.
Excellent call. Sixer finishes off what he starts. Partially through the wall, and Sixer onto a Dren as well. Heaven couldn't wait. EnVyUs going to pick up another round more than likely, and the position that Gambit are in probably just save these 2 M4s.
Yep. I mean, that's just literally the perfect call as a captain of a T-side team on Nuke when you know CTs have no utility. There's just nothing you can do about that upper push. I mean, you still have to respect outside, and with this map, this version of Nuke, you have to commit like 2 players a lot of the time to kind of do something outside or give it up entirely. And then usually someone's going to be kind of playing at least like a ramp rotator or something. So you know you're up against like 2 guys. And there's nothing to stop you from opening door, coming out hut, come out hut window. Like, there's just nothing there. So, I mean, it's just the perfect call, and it works out well for EnVyUs. They're now up 11-3. And nothing gets saved over, right? So, Gambit in the last round of the half, again, very little to work with.
They are skint, as we'd say in the Northeast. Straight up broken. 2 Mag 7s, UMP, Deagle, Scout. You never heard that before, skint?
No, definitely not.
Oh, fair enough. It means piss poor. Nothing. Nada. Nout.
The funny thing is you said skimp and you said straight up, so I thought it was like an acronym.
Oh, nope.
For a moment there.
It hasn't started particularly well for Gambit in this round either. EnVyUs showing no remorse, no retreat, taking no prisoners. Just in for ruthless frags, going for the jugular. Adren peeks out, looking for information. He's found it, but he can't really do anything about it with the Mag 7. But he can if he relocates, gets up in the face of Happy, and just wrecks him in the head. Still player advantage remains for EnVyUs. Not for too much longer. Nosy with a double D. He is going to make this round a bit more interesting, but Sixer, who's been really on point these last few rounds, is able to cave in Hobbit, and the plant will come. Adren has been spotted in heaven, and Scream will do the rest. A brutal first half. Gambit will be happy that's over, and if they're not careful, this map will be too.
Yep, just a mirror image of EnVyUs' T-side from yesterday here on Nuke as they put up 12, not leaving Gambit a whole lot of room to work with. A couple of mistakes, and this map is over with, and EnVyUs will be one away from moving on to New York and eliminating Gambit. Of course, the next maps coming up are definitely going to be a bit more familiar territory for Gambit, but also not too shabby for EnVyUs. So we have a potential. I mean, if EnVyUs was able to beat G2 and Gambit to make it to New York, I mean, that's actually a hell of a run.
Yeah, that's a legit path through to New York. They definitely would deserve it. Short Gambit, a bit weakened right now, with Finch coming in for Zeus. But to be completely honest, Finch has been playing well. Not so much on this map, but so far today and yesterday has been turning some heads.
I'll be curious to see how they do at Malmo.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be his first true test. Like online
right.
CS, definitely not the same as offline. Nowhere near the same pressures, the same expectations. At Malmo, we'll see what Fitch is really made of and what Zeus and his absence will do for Gambit. Because, of course, now Adren has picked up the leadership role. That's also going to change the dynamic of how Gambit operate.
Yeah. Not overnight, though. I think that you'll see Gambit still play mostly the same, kind of use the system that's been there, just try to run it with Adren, but I'm sure they'll throw in some new stuff. I have seen them at times pick up the pace a bit more, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for both sides, and Avi being the other end of that, obviously, with Zeus returning home, so to speak. But let's not get too far away from this game, as EnVy are looking to see if they can't finish Nuke off. Pistol round in the second half is underway, as we are going to see Gambit looking to challenge outside very heavily. There's no one there to meet them either, so they'll make their way down the secrets with no resistance. But Scream is maybe looking to do a quick flank or get down Vince, but there is a terrorist left behind to catch this.
Fitch with the bomb in his hands is going to be running right with the rest of his team, trying to get onto the site as quickly as possible. Adren with the headshot, point blank range to Happy, maybe on for another one, and indeed RPK drops to his death. Oh, Adren's not done just yet. Another one goes his way. Fair enough, XMS was already very low due to Fitch. Now 6 up, 1 on 4. Has spotted at least one player in the vents. He's incredibly low. Will be finished off, and Gambit, they're going to delay the end of this map a little while longer. For how long is yet to be seen, but EnVyUs have already shown that when they have pistols and Kevlar in their hands, they're still capable of taking you down. So Gambit cannot take anything for granted.
Yeah, really well done by Adren there. He's had quite a rough game, but with that quad kill, he's starting to get himself back up there on the scoreboard. They still have a long road to go, though, if they want to pose a real threat to EnVyUs, who are still well out in front. With the pistols, you do see them doing a bit of a stack here towards the upper bomb site. One kind of peeking outside from heaven. He does get caught. That's Sixer. XMS now trying to push through, but Dozia is there to greet him with the UMP. And one by one, EnVyUs begin to fall, but now you see a couple of kills coming in. Happy even finds a Galil, and maybe he finds Hobbit. He does, and Scream comes in. The bomb's down. Everything has just come tumbling down for Gambit.
I wish I could act surprised this is happening, but I'm really not. However, Adren may be about to dig his team out of a very deep ditch. He's just spotted Happy, and he gets the clutch with the 4K. Man, did Gambit make that hard for themselves. They're going to get the round all the same.
I feel like EnVy could have chilled out, though. They had the bomb down outside. Happy was sitting there on top of it. maybe could have played that 2v1 out a little bit better and actually won the round. So I think EnVyUs will be kicking themselves if they missed that opportunity after all the work they had put in. But Gambit obviously breathing a sigh of relief that they weathered that storm because it was looking really dicey. As we do see EnVyUs here just on some P250s and a couple of Deagles.
XMS onto Dosia. EnVyUs maybe with another crack of the eco whip could get something to stick. Mark 10. UMP, couple of assault rifles. Expendable weapons on the side of Gambit, but after losing 4 in the previous round, they really don't want to give too much away. Because the likes of nades and Kevlar costs will start to rack up. And again, wouldn't you know it, EnVyUs have got the opening 2 picks.
That's tough, because you're not even up against armored opponents this round, Gambit. This should be the sweep.
Definitely. These are the kind of rounds that you expect to not just pick up, but pick up with at least 4 players left alive. And now Scream's gone in for another. This time a Juan Deeg. Galil has been assumed by EnVyUs. Happy enough to stay in position for now and not really go too far out. Oh, Fitch! No, not like this. You can't lose that trade, mate. That's shocking.
Oh, man.
Someone give that man a slap on the wrist.
Someone go check and make sure he's okay.
Yeah, he may have done worse to himself, to be fair, after that.
Oh, man. That hurts. That hurts a lot. If EnVyUs flawlessly win this round with no armor, that is pretty unreal. Definitely do. There's no time. Maybe Adren will get an exit or 2, but looks like he's just holding on to that AK and head armor. Can't blame him. That's a good amount of value to stick with. And so, yeah, it's a flawless victory for EnVyUs. After already having done a fair amount on the 4 spy, it came down to a 1v1. They didn't win that one with ease. Crazy, man.
Of course, we're saying how Fitch is fit in so well to Gambit. He's dropped to 4-14 so far, and a poor spray cost him dearly in the last round. I'm sure he's red-faced after that. Meanwhile, Adren, long range, takes out Sixer. So they're going to try and bounce back and maybe break the economy of EnVyUs now, return the favour. Hobbit onto Happy. EnVyUs trail by 1. With Scream low. This could be doable now for Gambit. Gonna change his angle and spray out of Hut. That's so nearly bagged him another kill. Unfortunate not to get it onto Fitch. But XMS, a monster in the first half. 18 and 10. Maybe it's his time to strike. There's the first. For a second, won't be happening. Mo up to the task, and Gambit do. Go straight back in and knock EnVyUs down a peg or 2. They have enough funds to buy an RPK, but everybody else is broke, so it's likely it's going to be a half bite at most.
So despite the run of fortune of winning around with no armor, it is still EnVyUs getting a reset at the end of the day, and so they will have to concede having guns for now, but we've seen them do a hell of a lot of work in this half with pistols already. Won 1 round and then had another one come down to a 1v1, so Gambit have to be very careful on how they approach this. They're already well behind. You don't want to be giving rounds for free to EnVyUs like this.
At least this time, Fitch is going to be able to drill 2 players. Sixer has his back turned to Fitch, I guess. He wanted to fully commit to at least 1 kill. Fitch going to bag himself 3 in total. There is a second player in control room, and I doubt that he'll expect that. It would be quite the mistake if he pushed on the site by himself. He's got players around him. There's no great rush. There's still a minute left. Well, you can see he has no idea what's about to hit him. Up pops Happy, takes him down. Bomb gets dropped out. It's still not game over yet for Gambit in this round, but that's going to be pretty rough for them to deal with. And Happy does knock down Dozier, just 2 health. Gambit hold on for dear life and do claim the round, make it their own.
Yeah, so good on them to finally get past the force buy shenanigans that EnVyUs has thrown their way. EnVyUs will again still be without guns in this round. Again, that reset are still in the ripple effects of that. So a couple of Deagles on Scream and XMS, a couple of P250s, that'll be about it. As Gambit are looking to set up some smokes outside and put that wall up. Very common for Nuke. It's almost like mid control on other maps, like just getting the smoke wall, getting outside control, then working from it. And that is what Gambit has on their minds, but a lot of the focus is actually over here towards lobby still. They will catch XMS peeking the broken down door.
Well, next round, EnVy could have 2 AWPs if they so choose. I'll have to wait and see what happens. They've been sharing the burden of the double AWPs today. Scream's had it a couple of times, Happy's had it as well. So we shall see if they even go in for it in the first place. But this round is as good as done, as Happy has been found in top 6 and gets punished. Hold on a second, RPK comes in for a kill alongside Sixer, and Sixer's now in a position where maybe he can actually strike. The bomb's been dropped out on the site. Dozier and Dread remain. Sixer just came charging straight to his no man.
Wow, that would have been sick.
Goes. Nice try, really nice try. I bet he scared Gambit livid there.
Because when the fire went down, he heard the window break, and I think he knew he had a 1v1 as he came through the fire. Just didn't quite get the planter down. So yeah, definitely an NT, but it is Gambit who's been able to get up to 8. They've actually won the last 3 rounds in a row, so they're really starting to find a rhythm here on the terror side. But this is EnVyUs' it's like the biggest spy they've had all half, to be honest. They have an op included, they have the rifles, they have the utility. And we'll go ahead and put Incendiary down, making sure that no one's going to be able to push Squeaky for free off the bat.
No early push outside by Gambit. They put a Dread out there, but he's going to be sitting in for now. Hobbit's up on the catwalk. Just next to the upper vents. Scream having a quick peek. He's got players around him right now. Not too much utility left for Gambit. They've only got 2 smokes and a molly, and we have just shy of a minute to play with.
Trent's made a lot of headway outside, by the way, and Fitch will catch RPK getting aggressive inside lobby, so this is looking pretty decent for Gambit. They're getting some good positions.
Yeah, Hobbit's just whacked down Sixer, and Hobbit's going to go in for a second as well. Happy still lurking in the shadows of Secret. Needs to get a move on and help XMS out. But Fitch is here, he's waiting. Easiest kill that he'll pick up today, and XMS is now down to 19. Looks like Gambit are going to edge ahead 1 step closer to making this comeback a reality. And at this stage, keep in mind that EnVyUs will be into a save. They're going to start to get a bit nervous now. This has gone from a pretty huge lead into not that big, all things considered, when the economy and the CT side is put in play.
And they're not even going to get to say this AWP. Doesn't look like Fitch is in great position to put a stop to it, and there it is. So it's going to have to be another just upgrade pistol buy coming out of EnVyUs in this round. So I'll have to take a full save, essentially. They are approaching max loss bonus, so they could buy down to about $2,000 and still be good to go. And certainly they've proven to us that they can make some magic happen when you give them a couple of upgraded pistols and maybe some armor thrown in the mix.
Man, I don't know if I like this. They must know that EnVyUs are pretty much broken and will have pistols, and they've gone for double AWPs on their T side. This is the kind of setup that could cost Gambit massively.
That's a bit interesting. Double AWP on T side Nuke is definitely not something that many teams will do.
No. And especially when you consider that EnVyUs have a very small amount to play with in this round. I mean, you assume they're not going to force. They have 4 rounds of loss bonus coming up, so they could go for pistols and Kevlar and still have a solid buy in the next one. So you're expecting to see CZs and Deagles come in play. Maybe even a UMP for somebody like Happy or RPK, depending on if they want the extra power spike. But either way, this does worry me a little bit, having double AWPs on T side.
have to see. I'm sure one of them will be used to go outside, maybe another to watch radio or look for a pick some other way. Dren is usually the one who would tote a second op for Gambit on T side, so it's in familiar hands in that regard, but it's just definitely an odd map to do it.
But people are saying one AWP was saved. Yeah, we know, but
yeah.
2 AWPs on T side still is a big risk. I'm surely you'd want an extra AK to deal with a potential pistol presence on a site where they're going to be holding close angles. Especially from a map like Nuke as well. A lot of it is quite claustrophobic, up close and personal. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out for them. Smokes have been deployed. Nothing else for EnVyUs in terms of utility, but they have plenty of firepower. 3 Deagles and 2 PT-50s.
Yeah, the critique wasn't about money spent. It was just about having them in general. And one of them, or excuse me, one of the players of Gambit's already outscreened putting the Deagle in.
Exactly. It changes the pace in which you can execute and the pace in which you can move when you have double AWPs. You have to play around them. One of the positives, I guess, of losing Dozier is he can actually trade out the AWP for the AK instead. So it mitigates some of the issue. But now, of course, they're lacking a player. So it's still going to be a pretty big gap that Gambit have to worry about.
Scream looking to post up on an aggressive angle here inside Hut. As this crosshair trained on the corner, waiting for someone to peek around. As Fitch is up there, and he creeps down just as Scream comes out, and what the timing is perfect.
Oh, God.
An AK collected.
You can just feel the sodium level rising. And Scream with his AK is going to spray down Adrenaline Moat. Changes his attention to heaven. But hurt by Sixer, and Scream finishes him off as well. Gambit. It's going to be an ace, actually, for Scream, just to put extra accolades. Not that he needs them. The guy is so damn good. But Gambit have let a massive chance go missing, go begging, and they are going to definitely regret that.
That is another force buy of EnVyUs coming through for them. The second one they've won this half, I think. Third one came down to 1v1 they wound up losing, but the point is they've had so much success with these pistols, it's definitely haunted Gambit throughout Nuke. And now there's just a couple of rounds left that Gambit can afford before this is said and done, as we do see Adren chasing down Happy in the back halls. He will get the kill. Sixer found one as well, though.
However, Envy normally tripping over their own shoelaces, or are they? RPK and Sixer untangled the knot, untangled the web that Gambit were trying to weave. Mo 17, Fitch even, on 100.
Yeah, I don't think he's a small bird.
Don't know why I keep wanting to say Finch. I guess it just rolls off the tongue a lot easier for me. But either way, Fitch. Yeah, he's going to be making a move through. XMS is above him. RPK chilling behind the vents. I see him spinning around, trying to figure out where these players are. He knows there must be at least one on the site. Gonna flash and actually hits both of the defenders here. RPK, though, is able to rummage together a double spray. 6 map points for EnVyUs.
Yeah, they certainly are in prime position to take their map pick at this point. The T side was on point. They've let Gambit close the gap a bit, but here in the home stretch, they seem to be up to the task thus far, as now they will have even an easier time, so to speak, as Gambit are just going to be on some Tech 9s and Deagles, very low utility as well. Meanwhile, all the equipment that EnVyUs could ask for is at their disposal. As again, we do see outside presence by Gambit in a big way. 4 players pushing out here, looking like they're even trying to get into CT spawn. 6 are cutting them off, though.
Be not far away now from landing this first map. Dozier trying to push through, and he's going to go down alongside XMS. They've done it. EnVyUs claimed the first map. It was theirs. Train is up next. It's where Gambit definitely will be stronger. Well, that's a hell of a performance by EnVyUs, and they are One map away for qualifying for New York at ESL One.
It's also fair to say that EnVyUs aren't any strangers to train. It's their most played map online, and they don't do too bad on it, so they will certainly still have a crack at Gambit, despite the fact that Gambit may be the more, I guess, prestigious team on train when it comes to where their victories come from. But nonetheless, it is EnVyUs one step closer to New York, and we will see if they can finish the task here in just a bit. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring a map 2 between EnVyUs and Gambit, so stay tuned, folks.